This steel traditional oval watering can from Spear & Jackson makes a really nice gift for the discerning gardener, or a nice little treat for yourself. This particular one is 4.5 litres of water that it will hold, but there is a bigger size available. I really like this for larger houseplants. So I've got some houseplants in bigger pots, and if you're using a small watering can, it can take a while. So I like to use the larger watering can for this. It's got a beautiful copper coated handle, and the nice thing about this is when you are using it, as it gets less water in, this handle actually moves to make it really easy to water with. It's also got a nice traditional rose, and that's detachable, so if you're not watering seeds and things, if you are doing houseplants, I usually take that off and then you get more of a directional flow. It's a really nice traditional shape. It's a real pleasure to use, and when you're watering, I don't know, it just reminds me of watering with my granddad. It makes the moment of watering those plants a little bit more special. Over recent years, houseplants have become more and more popular, and keeping them well watered is really important, especially during the summer and spring when their major growth phases are happening. I like to use quite a large watering can for that. This is 4.5 litres because some of these planters are actually quite large and they do take quite a bit of water. I want to run through some little tips that I'd like to share with you in terms of getting the most out of your houseplants. Now, houseplants are generally, when they're grown in the wild, grown somewhere where it's quite humid. They don't like drafts, they don't like open doors, they don't like radiators, and they certainly don't like the dry air that is mainly in most of our houses. So if you have a kind of a damp terrace Victorian house and this is in the bathroom, they would be perfectly happy. But here in a modern house, the air is just too dry for them. So one of the things that I like to do is to place the planter on a saucer which has some gravel in the base, and by watering that gravel you'll create kind of a micro environment which is slightly more humid than it would be if that water wasn't available. So it also aids drainage. The best way to water a houseplant is to water in the top, allow that water to seep through, and then when this tray fills up with water, you can periodically top that up as well, just to give us a nice humid atmosphere around the foliage. One of the other things that houseplants tend to do is lean towards the light, and in most situations, apart from things that grow in deep shade, I would say that you do want to grow things near a window. Now, a south-facing window can burn leaves, so this is a north-facing window, but look how the plants are tracking towards the light, and that's the plant's natural tendency. So I've placed this on a lazy Susie, and so that enables me to turn the plant around, and I do this periodically, probably every time I water. You can see how you've got much more growth there, and by turning it round every time you water, you'll get a much more even growth on that plant. Do remember to feed them once a week or once a fortnight with a houseplant fertiliser, and that will give you the best chance that the plants can have. And do make sure you check for pests and diseases, because you can get pests and diseases growing inside, so just kind of keep an eye on those. Things like mealybug are a particular problem on this palm, but other than that, they're pretty easy. Just don't forget to water them, or get someone to water them while you're on holiday.